What if this whole case was for nothing? What if, after nearly 11 years of heartbreak, media frenzy, conflicting testimony, expensive forensic reports, and a courtroom drama watched by millions, the Senzo Meyiwa trial ends in a full acquittal? What does that mean for justice? What happens to the public trust in the South African criminal justice system? More importantly, what does it mean for the Meyiwa family and for South Africans who believed, against all odds, that justice might finally be done? In this long-form breakdown, we unpack the potential legal, political, and social fallout that could erupt if the court declares the 5 accused not guilty. You're watching the Hot Seat Essay, where we ask the hard questions and challenge the silences. This isn't just commentary, it's history in real time. Let's begin.
To begin, let's understand what an acquittal actually means. In the legal world, not guilty doesn't mean innocent. It means the prosecution failed to meet the constitutional standard of proof, beyond a reasonable doubt. But how do we go from a highly publicized arrests of 5 men, allegedly involved in a coordinated robbery gone wrong, to a possible courtroom collapse? Let's look at the foundation of the state's case. It relies heavily on statements taken by Brigadier Janinda, some of which the defense argues were obtained unlawfully. These include alleged confessions, cell phone evidence, and statements linking the accused to the scene. Now, add the fact that no witnesses inside the house identified any of the accused in an ID parade. None. The eyewitnesses, Tumelo Madala, Mtokusisi Twala, and others, all gave conflicting accounts. Their memory of who held the gun, what clothes were worn, and even who fled in which direction have been inconsistent at best and contradictory at worst. Let's not forget that defense advocate Zandile Mshololo raised serious concerns about the chain of evidence, including firearms, bullet casings, and the authenticity of key documents submitted by the state. That's not just courtroom sparring. That's the kind of reasonable doubt that shakes a case to its core. And in South African law, doubt favors the accused. The court isn't there to find the truth. It's there to weigh the evidence. And if the evidence is tainted, unclear, or unreliable, acquittal is not only possible, it's likely. It would be a nightmare scenario for the prosecution, but it would be fully within the bounds of the law.
Now picture this. The judge says all 5 accused, not guilty. The gallery is stunned. Families are speechless. Within minutes, social media explodes. Hashtag Justice for Senzo trends globally. But this time, it's followed by hashtag Justice Denied. Why? Because for the public, especially those who grew up watching Senzo in his prime, this wasn't just about murder. It was about a national betrayal. A beloved football captain gunned down in what was supposed to be a secure, private home, surrounded by friends, family, and witnesses. And after all that, no one is convicted? Public confidence in law enforcement, already fragile, could collapse. Civil society groups may take to the streets. Sports fans may boycott events. Youths who already distrust the system might ask, if even a national hero can't get justice, what chance do the rest of us have? And in the age of viral outrage, one protest video is enough to ignite a firestorm. The ripple effects could shake the ANC, Parliament, and the already shaky standing of the National Prosecuting Authority. You think the Pala Pala scandal caused anger? Wait until the streets erupt for Senzo. Here's a harder truth. If the 5 accused are acquitted, Where does that leave the real killer? Is this case closed forever? Technically, no. The police could reopen the investigation. New suspects could be arrested. But practically, that's a much heavier lift. Witnesses may refuse to cooperate again. Evidence may be tainted or inadmissible. And public faith in the process may be too broken to recover. There's also the risk that vital evidence was already compromised. Remember the claims that the crime scene was tampered with, that no proper forensic sweep was done, that some of the evidence linking the accused to the murder came only 6 years later? These aren't just bureaucratic errors, they're justice delayed. And justice delayed, as we know, is justice denied.
Witnesses have taken center stage in this trial, and not always in a flattering light. From dramatic courtroom crying to contradictory timelines, the public has watched as Tumelo Madlala and Motokozisi Twala tried to explain their versions of events. But here's the thing. If the court determines these witnesses lied under oath, they could face perjury charges. Yes, even if they were traumatized. Perjury is a serious offense in South Africa, and it undermines the foundation of any trial. But it's also possible the court gives them the benefit of the doubt, that in a moment of fear, shock, and chaos, memory failed. However, the damage may already be done. Mistrust now clouds every eyewitness statement. And if witnesses can't be relied on, who can? Let's talk money. This trial has cost South African taxpayers over 30 million rands so far. Legal Aid South Africa has spent over 6.5 million rands defending the accused. Now imagine, all that funding, all that public investment, resulting in an acquittal. Who is held accountable for that? Parliament may call for inquiries into the NPA, SAPS, and even Legal Aid's vetting procedures. Minister Ronald Lamola may be forced to answer in the National Assembly. Critics could use this to demand systemic reform in how high-profile cases are investigated and prosecuted. And in an election year, this becomes a political grenade. The ANC, already losing ground with young voters, may struggle to spin this into anything positive. DA, EFF, and Action SA would jump on the opportunity to frame the ruling party as soft on justice and incapable of protecting the public. This wouldn't just be the end of a case. It could mark the beginning of a nationwide reckoning.
At the end of the day, this case isn't just about legal arguments or courtroom theatrics. It's about a life lost, a family in mourning, a country looking for closure. If the verdict is not guilty, the pain doesn't disappear. The questions don't go away, and the demand for justice, real justice, will grow louder. Because no matter what the court decides, one truth remains. Senzo Meyiwa deserved better. South Africa deserves better. And it's up to all of us to keep asking the questions, pushing for transparency, and refusing to forget. Subscribe to the Hot Seat Essay and join us next week as we continue uncovering the truth, one court battle at a time.
Welcome to the fire where the stakes ignite, where the questions burn hotter than the night. No escape once you're locked in the heat. This is your trial on the hot seat.